I've been wanting to record this episode for a while, honestly, but I didn't quite know how I wanted to do it. So here it goes, and we're going to try it. In the last, few years, in the last many years, I have had a lot of things to process through. And I guess what I've really learned over the last few years is that there are things in life that are not meant to be permanent. And there are things in life that will maybe ebb and flow. They will maybe come and go in your life. Maybe one moment they'll be there, the next moment they won't. Maybe they'll come back again. There are things in life that holding on can hurt us more. And I've talked about this in one of my other previous videos. The idea of non-attachment. And one thing I would definitely recommend is listening to the YouTuber Kaylin Nicholson, her Coffee Talks by Kaylin, I think. No, wait, I don't remember what it's called, but her videos on attachment are really, really good. And I would definitely say if you haven't watched that or my last video, go and watch one of them, because I do think there's a lot to be said about that before I talk about this topic here. But I have found that, there are just some things in life that are, not meant to stay forever. Okay, think about this. Classic example. Think about maybe a relationship, whether you've been in it or whether someone else has been in it. Maybe it started really well. Maybe it was something that seemed really great, but as time went on, you two grew apart and it was time to move on and staying hurt you more, right? I think no matter where you are in your life, I think most of us can recognize that or have had an example of that in our lives, even if it's just in a movie, right? I feel like it's gonna start raining. I'm a little nervous about this. Okay. There are some things that maybe are just not meant to stay. Or, for example, the idea of moving out of the house that you grew up in, moving out of your parents' house or wherever you grew up, right? Maybe you're not meant to stay there. When I moved out for college, I knew, and my mom and I both knew, I really needed to move out. I was outgrowing the place where I was, and I needed a fresh start. And moving was difficult, but it was ultimately what I needed. I can't imagine if I hadn't, because I was at that point in my life where I really needed it. There are some times where that just happens. Whether it be a person, a situation, a place, a scenario, a thought process, things are not necessarily meant to stay forever. I know, at least for me, there have been times where life has tried to show me that something is not meant for me anymore. And I don't realize that that's what the lesson is supposed to be, or I just don't listen. And life keeps showing me until it disappears in a way that is honestly kind of painful, right? There are some moments, there are some times where something might leave, whether, again, that be a person or a place or whatever, and it leaves you in a place where maybe you're bitter, maybe it hurts, maybe you have a lot of healing to do from that. But I do think that maybe that's just life's way of telling you it was time to move on, and there are other things that you should be putting your focus to, right? You cannot control what happens, but you can control how you respond to it. And I've said that before, and I will say it again. Sometimes that's the only thing you can do. And it's important to be able to move on. And I don't mean move on in terms of realizing my life is better without this, but still holding on to bitterness, to feelings like that. Because that's a part of you that is still holding on to that is the part of you that's still not letting go the way that you need to, right? I know this from personal experience, times where I have just felt so hurt by something, maybe bitter, maybe not even bitter, but just hurt. And it wasn't until I told myself that it was like, okay, yeah, like this hurts, but I cannot keep focusing on it. I cannot keep letting it bring me down. I cannot keep letting it prevent me from making the right choices or making the choices that are going to help me grow. Or maybe my choices, because of this pain, are hurting other people, right? Sometimes the most difficult thing in life to do, but the most important and impactful thing to do. Can you guys see that it is definitely raining now? It's like just barely sprinkling, so I haven't gone inside yet, but oops, I should probably do that. Sometimes the most impactful thing is to let go and move on. And that doesn't mean forget, but it means realize that, respond in the best way that you can. Give yourself grace. Give yourself the grace and respect that you deserve, that you need. And it can be really painful, but allow yourself to know that maybe there's nothing you can do. Maybe this is life's way of telling you it is time to let go, because maybe there's something else on the other side waiting for you. Or maybe it's life telling you, let go now, because otherwise it's gonna keep hurting you. I don't know. I'm not life. I can't predict it, right? But I have learned that sometimes that's just what you need. And in my own life, hearing that from people and hearing it and realizing it over and over and over again in my own life has been really important to me. So if this is that sign that you need, that it's okay to let go, here it is. I'm giving it to you right now. That doesn't just have to be people. It doesn't just have to be places. It doesn't just have to be events. It can be thought processes too. It can be expectations. It can be what you thought something would look like. Maybe you thought your life would look a certain way. But holding on to the past, at least for me, I've never found it to be helpful. I think we can learn from the past, but holding on to it, in my life, it's only ever hurt me. Maybe that's what life is trying to tell you. Or maybe it's not. But I do think that it's something to think about. I think that it's important. And I think it's worth pondering. It is getting super rainy. I will see you next time.